friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're listening to this. It is Monday, January 21st, 2019, and this is episode 21 with the legendary D-Lyrical of Juggalo infamy, ICP adjacent history. This dude, though, D-Lyrical, we connected because I've been doing this YouTube series called Hatchet Chat, which I do plan on bringing back, where I review every ICP album in chronology. And, I started doing this because I always felt like the whole joke about ICP was, oh, magnets, how do they work? Haha, these dudes didn't go to college. And it's like a cheap joke, and ICP really inspired me to start rapping back when I was 16 and as a kid. One of my first rap shows I ever saw, actually my first rap show I ever saw was them, and really changed my life. And I, doing the YouTube series, I got invited with Megaran to play the Gathering of the Juggalos, and we played the Dark Carnival Games convention. And so we kind of formed a friendship with them in their camp through this stuff. But the other awesome thing about doing the Hatchet Chat series was I was able to connect with people from the history of the group, like Rudy the Rude Boy, who's ICP's tour manager. He watched the series and he gave me a shout out. Jump Steady, who's Violent J's brother, he found about me through the series. And a lot of it was because of Kevin Gill, who's another podcaster. And shout out to him, and shout out to Scotty D at Fago Lovers, and shout out to Child's Play Ninja and Anybody Killer, who watched our set, who was really supportive. So it's just kind of cool how we linked with the psychopathic stuff. And while the nerdcore stuff and my stuff specifically is very different from a lot of the theories and a lot of the stuff they do, you got to give them props. And I wanted to create this series to put a academic element into, the history of it, because that's kind of what I do. I love to learn about musical and cultural history. I love to talk about the stories of pop culture, and storytelling is super important to me. And so sitting down with this dude, D-Lyrical, Dale Miettinen, as I called him, but he corrects me, was awesome because if any of you have read Violent J's autobiography or listened to audio tape, the Audible audiobook, Jay talks about how the first EP he ever made was with this dude who he met through a friend. And Jay talks about, I only hung out with the kid because I wanted to use his karaoke machine. I should have robbed him and stole him, blah, blah, blah. And D-Lyrical is like, yeah, but Jay ate my mom's food. Jay was there. We were nice to him. And it turns out that they were friends, and Jay kind of played up the whole like thug mentality of like, oh, I didn't care about this guy. But Dale talks about how they were friends and how they met again. And he tells a kind of a telling story of how they were backstage and he went to see him, and Jay was like, do you want anything signed? And Dale was like, no, I just want to see you, bro. And how it's weird seeing him in his makeup. Not weird, but it's different. So, as I related to this, because we've all had musician friends who may have surpassed us commercially or whatever. And the weirdness of running to someone backstage at their show or something where you were once close to them, but things changed, It's a very like a Warped Tour kind of moment. Like, oh yeah, those guys, we used to tour the world together, and, now they're playing arenas, but what's up? Good to see you, but very interesting to be like at the heart of the psychopathic records, Juggalo culture. And Dale has been getting his props, recently. Like he put out his record, Stale Dale, What I Remember, which you can purchase at dlyrical1.bandcamp.com. And it's a great album. He talks about just what it was like, and it's interspersed with interviews with a Juggalo historian, this guy, Vinny, the ICP kid, who some of you might remember from the shockumentary. So this is my interview with Dale, D-Lyrical, Columbus, Ohio. Great guy. I would consider him a homie. And he came on stage when I played the show with I Fight Dragons in Cleveland. He came up and rapped. He did this beautiful a cappella. I invited him up and he spit a verse and the fans loved it. So before we get into that, I want to shout out the Patreon supporters. Shout out to Brandon, and shout out to some of the old supporters, Ross, Rebecca, and Kelly. Thank you all very much for being on the Patreon tip. If you haven't checked it out, I post 2 songs a month. It's super fun. Got videos, essays, stories about it, and you get the whole back catalog. So that's what's going on with that. Thank you all for your support. Thank you for Dale for his time. Really sweet guy, really talented guy. And he's an engineer. He works at a car manufacturing place. So him and Violent J could not have taken different paths, but it's cool to hear the story. And that's what's up. All right, so let's get into it. This is my talk with the legendary D-Lyrical on the MC Lars podcast, episode 21. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the MC Lars podcast. I'm here with the legendary D-Lyrical, because life is not the way I planned it. It didn't turn out right. That's why I'm left-handed. I wanted to shout out that lyric. I'm here with my man, D-Lyrical, a.k.a. Dale Miettinen. How do you say it?
I say Miettinen, but
Dale Miettinen.
That's the way you say it in Detroit. You know what I mean? If you're from Finland, you might say Miettinen. And you have the pronunciation right because you're such an intelligent guy. And, of course, you get all your shit right.
What's your family's origin history?
Like my dad's Finnish and my mom's French-Canadian. And my dad is actually half Blackfoot Indian a little bit. I don't know like whether that 15% everyone actually they claim. But I think that's where I get the jawbones from, so. Yeah.
You're a mixture of different cultures.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like Detroit has always been about cultures coming together. Would you agree?
I would agree. And I hate to quote like Kid Rock, but he's true, you know. But back in Detroit, kids listen to R&B. We listen to rock. We listen to rap. We listen to the country. We listen to everything because that's what our parents did. We're just you know, offspring of our parents, and our parents were really cool. If you want to know why you want to know why all these really cool guys came out of Detroit, because our parents were really cool, bro, and they were hip to a lot of different genres of music.
And Motown has always been about integration, right?
Always.
Yeah. So D-Lyrical, you are a legend in the rap scene because for many reasons, but one of which being that you worked on the first ICP project.
Well, I was the first one to actually hear Joe rap and say, hey, man, I want to record you. I think that you have something together. Let's do something together. I didn't veer from who I was, though. You know what I mean? I didn't just start rapping like his, but the guy was so entertaining. And the first time I met him, that I was like, come on over, let's do something. And it didn't happen right away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But after he heard that I had some kind of goofy ass karaoke machine, then he was like, hey, man, can I come over and do something? I'm like, yeah. But I really feel like I was a muse to him, you know what I mean? And I was like, hey, man, this is how you make an album. This is how easy it is to do something like this, just being a kid in your basement. And it took me a long time to become that kid in the basement, you know what I mean? And then to see someone else take off from that, even if I didn't get to, it's still wow, bro. Come on.
Well, it's safe to say without D-Lyrical, we wouldn't have had ICP.
I don't know about that, but that's very humbling of you to say. Holy shit!
In the format that it is, I mean, there's so much to talk about here, and I'm so excited to sit down with you. I have mad notes, and I
literally let's talk about how much mad props I have for you, huh?
We could.
I mean, man, your catalog and dude. Let's talk about you being a legend. Come on,
stop it, dog. We met at the, so here's how we linked. I started doing my Hatchet Chat and you jumped on and corrected some of my facts back in the day. And
actually, how this happened is Scotty D from Faggot Lovers got in touch with me. He goes, Dale, we love this guy, but he's got some facts wrong. And I said, well, dude, should I correct him or should I just let it be? Because most things that people say, you just let them go. You know how it goes, man. You don't have time to correct everybody. You know what I mean? On their facts or what they think about you in a certain light. That doesn't matter. But when Scotty D reaches out to me and says, man, we love this guy. And this is before I knew you're going to get on DCG. This is before I knew you're going to play together. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I didn't know really who you were that much. But once I researched you before I even commented.
Yeah.
And then I saw this Kurt Loder thing and it just a flashback happened to me. And I was like, I remember that moment. This is that kid. And so I was like, okay, I said, Scotty, how do I approach this, bro?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to be rude to him. I said, but I'm just going to say, hey, man, just a little FYI. And I'm going to go that way. He goes, Dale, just be you. He goes, you've always been you. So I was like, all right, cool. So that's when but I got to tell you, though, that I researched what I said to you, and I was wrong. And I'm apologizing to you on air right now.
Oh, that's a wait.
Because he did say no war.
Oh, right.
But it was a sample that we used. It was World War III was the song, was the sample that we used. And it does say that in the song, World War III. And that's where I thought you were coming from. And then when I re-listened to the freaking CD, I was like, I have need to apologize to this kid. So what better way to do it in front of everybody?
Hey, it's all good. Well, that was
Much
how
love,
we linked, because it was like dope that you jumped on the YouTube. And then we met in real life at the gathering.
Yeah, for a what?
For a second.
Split second. But it was supposed to we were supposed to cross paths because the literate juggalo was trying to get us together.
Shout out to him.
Shout out to Josh.
Thanks, Josh.
Yeah, he's like, man, MC Lars is going to be performing tonight. Let's get you guys together. I'm like, okay, I'll try. But I was with Vinny, the ICP kid. I was with Zane,
Shout out to those guys.
Big Zane, dude, And so I was on their golf cart, and we heard some guy say, hey, MC Lars is about to perform. I told him to turn that golf cart around. We need to get the carousel stage right now. So we're just like, boom, we're over bumps, man. It was like 4 a.m. And I just jumped. He was still driving the cart, and I just jumped off the back and started running to the front of the stage, dude. And I was on, my energy levels were so high at that point. I ain't gonna lie to you, Lars.
That was so tight.
Oh, man.
And then I went, yo, it's D-Lyrical, and then you got mobbed by the Juggalos.
Dude,
that was tight. That was tight.
You blew my mind, bro. I was just sitting there like 3 rows back, and all of a sudden we caught eyes, and you go, D-Lyrical's in the house, and I was like, holy shit, he did not say that. He did not say that.
You're easy to spot. You're a distinctive-looking guy. I was like, I know this man.
Man, dude, that was just it was a highlight for me, man. In my life, that's a story I will tell my kids. You hear what I'm saying?
I'm glad to hear you say that, and I'm always remember the gathering, and seeing you there during the set was like very special to me. That you took time to, the gathering. There's so much going on, but that you stopped, rolled through, and gave us love. But
as an artist, to watch you on stage, to jump down, you and Mega jumped down on the stage and said, pull out stuff out of your pockets, let's rap about that. Yeah. And you kept the crowd going with that.
That was tight.
You know how to, you're a performer, dude. I was taking in what you were given. There's no doubt.
Thanks, Dale. I appreciate it, man. Let me ask you a question. You've been doing more stuff with like the psychopathic roster. You just opened for Ouija?
Yeah.
How was that?
Yeah, that was one of the best shows I've done so far. It was me, Ouija. Jay Villain put me on this thing. Who's down with Native World? Mad love to him. And I got to open up for Ouija. And so after my set, Bakelo was about to go on, and he went on for about a song and a half, and then chaos broke out.
Oh.
The bouncers. They had a sign outside, and they were changing the letters to say, chaos in this bitch and all this stuff. And the owner saw people taking these letters and switching them around his sign because it was high enough where you could see it. So the bouncers go and grab this little juggalo and beat his ass. So, juggalos don't play that, bro. You ain't beating up no juggalo.
So did the show get canceled?
No. Okay. So chaos broke out. Bouncers are fighting juggalos. And 14 cops show up. Tear gassed the whole club.
Was it Columbus?
Yeah.
And they tear gassed the club?
Tear gassed the whole club.
Ooh.
And after they tear gassed the whole club, dude, I'm running inside because my merch is in there, bro. You know what I mean? You can see your merch. And so I got like a bandana. I'm hanging out with fans and the hooligans. They're like, we're going in, dog. I'm like, I'm with you. So we're going in. And we grab all our merch and stuff. And we come outside. And I'm like, fuck it. I'm going home. I had a bunch of jugs that were in town to see me. I invited them all over to my house to have a big old barbecue. We had a bonfire and stuff. It was awesome. And so the cops actually told the club owner, you better turn the freaking sound back on and let these guys finish this concert. And they realized that some club owners, bro, they don't know how to handle their club or their crowd.
Right.
And that's exactly what happened. Because juggalos I've been to so many juggalo shows and never seen one problem. But at this show, it got rowdy and stupid, and it was because of the club owners. There's no doubt.
Well, that's the thing about juggalos is they stand up for each other, and there's great unity. But like, if someone messes with them, it's the family. You can't do that.
Don't fuck with that.
It's not worth pissing off a juggalo because they're good, kind-hearted people.
They're awesome.
They're the nicest people in the world.
Dude. The gathering this year was my first ever, and let me tell you, dude, I had the best experience. I didn't see nobody high on drugs too much. I didn't see nobody getting out of hand. I didn't see nothing but a lot of people saying, "Hey, how you doing? It's great to see you again."
Yeah, right.
That's what it was. I mean, you have your different ninjas from all these different areas, and they just all get together, and they're like, "Yo, what's up, dog?" And even
love.
Yeah, it's love.
And Jump Steady runs such a great tight ship.
What a great
Shout
guy.
out to him.
What a great guy.
So you hung out with him at Hello Wicked? Is that true?
Yeah, for like 10 minutes. I didn't talk to him about ICP at all. I talked to him about how he must stay up late at night and talk about how he went from Morton's List to enter the Echo side.
Yeah.
And how he was thinking about this gaming thing and how it must keep him up. I can, as a writer, you can only think about how lyrics keep you out at night, like beats keep you up at night.
Yeah.
How you want a concept of an album to be at night. Can you imagine doing a game and all the pieces and all the rules and all the Man, dude, there's so many avenues that you have to think about.
Well, it's like running a label or running a festival, all these moving parts, right?
But that's what I'm saying. He runs a label and does this at night.
Fool's
How
busy.
does he go to sleep at night? I have no idea.
And you know what's great about Jumpsteady? He's very humble. And you know some people you get like a good energy from? You get that from, I get that from you. Like a lot of people in that world, you meet them. It's this bubble of kindness.
Yes.
And you just know that like, sometimes I feel like things are meant to happen. Like meeting you now, I feel talking to you now is meant to happen. You connecting with Violent J as a kid is meant to happen.
Yeah.
Like life has a reason.
We're all pieces of a puzzle, bro.
Yeah. And
the horrorcore puzzle, it's Joe's puzzle. So many people. There's only so many people that could create a puzzle. And make their own pieces. And no matter how big twist it gets, they're a really big piece as much as Shaggy's a really huge fucking piece, but they'll never be the guy. And Jumpsteady's actually the guy that told Joe to make the puzzle.
Yeah. And was kind of believed in his little brother.
Could you imagine having a family member that supportive of you as a kid? Man, if I could have had that.
Yeah, man. That's like, you guys were like brothers growing up in Detroit, really, right?
Me and more the Uselers than it was Joe Bruce, because he was in and out of jail. Read the book.
Yeah.
The man was, he was a thug before I wanted to be a thug. Or it was cool to act like you were a thug. I didn't want to be a thug, bro. I was trying to run the state and narrow, bro. I was trying to graduate high school and move on with my life. Rapping and dancing was just something I did for fun, and that's what I still tell people today. That's still what I do. I do it for fun. Yeah. I've spent so much of my own money on this project, and like today coming here, I'm spending my own money doing everything I'm doing because I have a love for it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and it's well, the cool thing is you've built this incredible career as an engineer to balance out your art.
Yeah, well,
it's responsible, man.
Yeah, it's responsible. Yeah. I know. I love metal. I love working with metal.
Yeah.
And it's such an art, and especially when people talk about how you need to make something within a tenth of a millimeter tolerance, within 4/1000 of an inch, and you're talking about contours and radiuses.
Yeah.
Or when a piece breaks that has those things on it, you don't have to call Ford or GM and Chrysler to ask for a print of that part. What I do is actually I scan and probe all those broken parts, take them into a CAD model, put them all together, take a billet of metal, put it in a CNC machine and recreate that, put it back in the press and get it running without even talking to them.
That's tight. That's tight. You have a very select skill set that not a lot of people have.
Nah.
The Intelligence and Violence release, right? Like, were you coming at it as a conscious rapper? Like, I remember listening to your interview with Scotty D that you said you were very into like Rakim and a lot of the educational rap. Was that kind of on purpose, or was that just you kind of channeling your influences?
That was Joe. That's what Joe saw in me.
Yeah.
I never said I was intelligent. I never said my raps were intelligent. When we sat in my basement and I said, okay, I'm this way, you're this way. He goes, yo, dog, you're intelligent and shit. I said, well, your shit's violent, bro. He goes, okay, well, you're intelligent and I'm violent. I said, well, let's just do a song like that, dude. Let's just call it intelligent. Dude, we're 17-year-old kids in a basement collab, bro. You know what I mean? It doesn't take a lot to put something together. And then actually his boy Johnny, rest in peace, Johnny Kick Jazz. Me and him was at the record store like the day before, and we were going through all the cassette singles back in the day because that's what we used to do.
Yeah.
So he was like, "Oh, look at this Soul to Soul, bro." I was like, "Dude, shut up, dude." I wanted something hard, of course. MDFWA was kicking right then. I was big into Ice-T and Power. You know what I mean? And I was actually at the Public Enemy show, that NWA. That if you look at the movie NWA.
Yeah.
The show that everyone's running down the stairs and all that. I was at that show.
Wow.
Yeah, my mom worked at Hardee's, okay? So there's these three guys, and they wanted to go to the show. My mom said, okay, I'll let you guys off, and I'll work all your shifts if you take my son with you.
That's great mom right there.
So I'm in main floor, dude, and Ice-T's up there doing colors, dude, and there's all these different gangs fighting, dude, and these guys just built like a wall around me, bro.
Wow.
And then the one guy put me up on his shoulders, dude, for Public Enemy, and the Big Daddy Kane was there, Stetson Sonic, EPMD.
Wow.
Yeah.
What year was that?
It was Bring the Noise tour, '88.
Oh my God. What a time to like be a hip hop fan, right? And to be like in a city that really got all the hip hop and then had its own legends that came out of it. Gosh, it's like interesting to think when you were 17 when you did that record.
Yeah.
And
what's really funny though? Like in my basement,
yeah,
I had Kiss albums everywhere.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of Kiss as a kid.
Yeah.
And it's funny because me and Joe used to talking about a gimmick. The man is always, his brain was, I seen him rolling, bro, because the wrestling thing, it's gimmicks.
Yeah.
You got to find your thing that makes you a niche.
Right.
So when we're in the basement and we're going through this whole metamorphosis of him. Into him being just a guy who's making these funny raps to, hey, man, I think I can do this. And he knew that he could do without me. I mean, dude, the guy was gone. I mean, dude, he took off out of my basement, dude, like a rocket ship. You know what I mean?
But so you're thinking maybe when he saw the Kiss albums, like the idea of branding with the makeup or something may have sunk in?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if maybe subliminal,
you
know, in the back of his mind, you know, some of the things that I'd like to think.
Yeah.
I like to think, and that's the way I remember it.
Yeah.
Because I know what was in my basement. I know what was up on my walls.
Yeah.
I had every Kiss album, bro.
Yeah.
But the marketing thing of it all, you know, I don't think he thought all that right away. But man, it's funny how it all worked out. And
it's crazy.
I think he's bigger than Kiss, dude. I love him more than I could ever love Kiss, bro.
I think the music is more memorable. I don't know. I'm not trying to. I'm just.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
And
because he's not a gimmick.
No.
Kiss became a gimmick.
Yeah. Kiss became like a parody of itself.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Joe is still real as fuck, dude. It's so weird, dude. The guy's he rips on himself snakes and all that stuff, dude.
Yeah.
And his community online. So this is something I just got in like hip with, dude. And to see all these people, and some of them just love to hate on him every day.
The Snake Busters thing.
Yes, that was cool. Right?
What's it like now when you see Violent J? Do you guys when was the last time you caught up with him?
Cincinnati, last year. Yeah.
That's
so I pretty
awesome.
much did the same thing with him that I did with you.
Yeah.
You know, do I shake your hand? Do I bow? Do I kneel? What do I do right now? Am I allowed to tell a hug? You know what I mean? And
I bet he was stoked to see you.
Yeah. But he could see that I was verklempt. I was lost for words. I was looking around the room because I didn't know it. He's wearing makeup, bro, and it's so different than the guy that I think I have a better time just sitting down one-on-one if he wasn't wearing the makeup. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was during a meet and greet, and there was so many fans behind me.
Oh God, yeah.
You know what I mean? And I didn't want to take up too much of their time, so it was just a quick moment in time where we got to show the love. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and,
right.
And I told him about the new album. He goes, you got anything for me to sign? And I go, no, I don't need nothing from you. And so I go, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute, they gave me this flag thing. So, dude, I pull this flag out. He's laughing because he's thinking I'm going to have like tapes and CDs that I can sell. You know what I mean?
You're right,
And I look at him in the face and I'm like, dude, I don't need nothing from you.
Yeah.
And then for the last year, what I've been doing, I didn't ask for none of it. You know, I've done this on my own.
Yeah, man. You are.
And for the jugs.
What I love about you is that you have this crazy story and connection to them, but you refuse to let it define you, and you're a very positive person. You don't feel like you're not salty about the fact that you worked together and then you both had success on your own terms. And that's like really inspiring, dude.
You have your own path in life, don't you, Lars?
Yeah.
Come on, you didn't try to act like nobody else, dude. You're a legend in yourself. You understand where I'm coming from right now. You're a part of something, and if you're a real person, once you're a part of something, you let it sprout and grow, and you don't worry about if you're a part of it anymore or not.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Ego is a dangerous thing, isn't it?
Just because you're a seed don't mean you have to be the plant, or the leaf, or the fucking the acorn that falls from the tree. You know what I mean? I was just a part of the seed.
Yeah. And now, as people are piecing together the history of the Detroit hip hop world, they see you as this very crucial seed, and you've been putting out new music and playing mad shows, and it's tight, man. I want to talk about your new record. I want to talk about all the songs on your new record.
You actually listen to that.
Oh,
you bought it. Oh my God, I've seen it today. Thank you so much.
I wanted to play it on the airplane.
Man, so humbling to hear MC Lars has bought my CD online.
It's tight, dude. So you released it independently on your own label then?
No, I released it independently myself. Man. Yeah. Like I said, dude, I got with my friend. I said, I want this to be a real thing like from back then. I don't want a lot of production. I don't want it to be overdubbed. I want me and you to sit in your bedroom and make up some beats and have some fun and sing. The first song when I did it, I actually went in the bathroom and tried to record. Well, that was a mistake. But I put a video out with it, and everyone just chimed in. Dude, you sound hollow. You sound whatever, dude. And then so we just went into a closet. You know what I mean? And I recorded there. And It's because I love it. I want to do. I'm not trying to be as professional as hell. I just try to give. I saw the window of a documentary, and then I saw the interview I did with Scotty, and I was like, I'm gonna chop this up, and I'm gonna put some songs in here, give a little meaning, and let them know a little something about me, bro.
Well, a lot of your songs are like you're explaining your life, and it's like, this is what I've been up to.
But I'm not playing on ICP at all in it, you know. But I'm talking to the jugs, you know.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones that give a fuck.
And they're the ones who are buying it. I imagine, like.
I gave away more than I did.
Yeah.
I gave, because when you're at the gathering and you see guys, they're like, dude, you're D-Lyrical? Oh, man, I only got $5. Dude, keep your $5. Here's a CD.
Dingo 8, that's your collaborator?
Yes, thank you for saying that right now.
He's ill.
He's so freaking ill.
So he helped you with the beats and stuff?
He helped me with everything, and he still is. This guy is the guy I go to. He's my counselor. Like, he is my...
How'd you meet him?
Okay, I moved to Columbus, and I met this guy who became my friend, and he runs Restart House Music, and I love house music, dude.
Yeah.
Word up. I moved to Chicago from Detroit because of house music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I love to dance, dude. I love to dance at 4 a.m. I love that sweat. I love that groove. I love that feeling that you get. I think it's a mature man's, music. I really do. I do. If you're gonna be with your girl and go out dancing, where are you gonna go? You're going to go do an ICP, honestly, or you're going to go dance to some house music in Chicago, Illinois, doing to get down.
Right. I feel you. I feel you.
Okay.
And and you met your girlfriend through your love of house music.
Yeah. And actually, my ex-wife, she's friends with this guy. This is all 7 degrees of separation of how this all works out, man. Whoa. Like, I didn't know that this guy knew house music. I didn't know this guy knew my ex-wife. And it all turned out that this guy has just become one of my best friends in the world. And like 3 times a week, I'm over his house and I'm just acapellaing. I'm just having fun. We're sitting there at keyboard. I don't have to tell you nothing. You love music. You just do it.
You just do it. The songs have a life of their own. Mm-hmm. That's how you know you're in a good session, right?
But an album when you're supposed to make it.
Yeah.
And when you see the vision of from front to back, it ain't about one song. It's about the story. And that's what the album was, man. And
I like this album because you're like reclaiming your story. You're telling your story. I like the music is jazzy, and like I really like the horns on I'm D-Lyrical. That's sick. Where is that, like an old funk record?
I'll tell you one sample in that song.
Yeah.
And you won't guess. The bass line. But yeah, you're right. I took Flavor Flav and Snap and put them together. Because for 30 years, I've always heard people, I'm D-Lyrical, I could hear it, you know what I mean? Yeah. So for 30 years, I had that kind of like sample, but it's the bass line that's the kicker, and that's Natalie Merchant. I Walk These Streets.
Ah, that's tight.
Doom, 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 doom.
So you have all your influences coming in.
I walk these streets, hell yeah.
Dude.
In the carnival. So what up? Do I even think about that? Oh no!
Yo, high five.
Oh no! I didn't even in the carnival. Oh shit!
That's right. Your live version. You
17.
I also like a lot of your hooks. You're singing them. They're very melodic. And you used to sing in different rock bands and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
I can't sing like I used to. But too many Marlboro Reds, so I have to do the melodic.
The melodic.
I used to scream.
You did? Oh, yeah. Like metal?
No, grunge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fell in love with grunge.
Yeah.
I was in a band called General Cluster Funk. Actually, Mark Farnham's son was the lead singer of the band from Grand Funk Railroad.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's tight.
So while he was in rehab, they needed someone to fill in for Battle of the Bands and stuff like that. Yeah. And I did it, and we actually took third place through a couple of songs I wrote.
Was that before you were rapping?
Mm-hmm. No. This is after Violent J.
Yeah. So the return to rap has felt kind of like a natural.
It's never been a return to rap.
Yeah.
I've always just loved it at parties and stuff when I'm with my friends and stuff, dude. I'll throw out. Come on, Lars. Sometimes when you get that great buzz, you just want to throw out rap, and everyone's like, okay, shut the music down. Dale's gonna do a rap.
Yeah.
So I just do something. You know what I mean? But
that's the collaborative nature of hip hop, and that's why it's such a. For me, all my favorite people in my life I've met are through hip hop, and that spontaneity of the acapella, the freestyle, like those are having that lack of self-consciousness to express yourself like that is kind of the greatest freedom we could ever ask for, I think, right? Like with our friendships, I think.
Yeah. And when it comes to music and songs, I think people are getting lost in one song. When you're producing an album, it should be about an album.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be about how many bars you're spitting. It should be about what the song's about.
Yeah.
I mean, look at any good song in history. You don't judge it on how much context it had in it. You judge it on how you feel about it after you heard it.
I think also good art, if you feel like you really are getting to know the person through what they've said, right? And that's what I like about your new solo record, is that it comes across as very humble and it's real, dude.
I've never stabbed nobody in their neck. You know what I mean? I never claimed to. So I'm not going to talk about it now. I'm not going to try to fit in where I need to be. I don't have to fit in.
Right.
I actually have this luxury within this scene that I can actually be me.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
And show them that you can do this.
And that's
I hope more people do it actually in this scene.
Yeah, man. Like in the Juggalo thing is about being yourself, not putting on airs, right? I mean, how would you define?
It's about having a hard life, but not letting it get you down. And everyone talks about how they have these mental personas, you know what I mean, and how they want to kill, but in real life they're not kill. So I'd rather hear more people talk about how they deal with that situation. That metamorphosis between reality and non-reality, than to hear just people talk about the non-reality. Right. Does that make sense?
No, I do know what you're saying. Like, there's a lot of that violent fantasy as a way to get those
aggression
negative thoughts out.
Yeah, but
which can be healthy.
I'd rather hear more, and I'm older now, so you know what I mean. I'm not into the aggression. I mean, I was into Rage Against the Machine just as much as everybody else was, but. You know, now I'd rather listen to some Bonobo or something.
Yeah, I feel you. No, I think that's true, and I think that like. My favorite moments, going back to ICP of the catalog, is where you it shines through and you see who they were, like the song Behind the Paint, from Bizarre Bizarre.
What about Wizard of the Hood?
Yeah.
I remember seeing it on paper before he ever recorded it.
That's tight.
I remember the legal notepad that he had it on with all the scribble words and lines cussed out and just you listen to Gangster Codes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And D-Lyrical follows Gangster Codes, but people are like, oh no, he didn't really like that guy. Okay, dude, listen to all the names that were in that. We were just kids, and you ran with these kids, you know what I mean? As kids, and the kids that you ran with bikes, you all got on bikes, ran around the neighborhood. Well, that was kind of it, but we just kind of like play fight like gangsters with guns and stuff.
You talked about in the interview how you had the we'd play Bloods versus Crips, and the fools broke in your house, and scared you and your mom.
Yeah.
What's your mom's take on you hanging with like homies of this nature? Because I know Jay talks about being at your house, and he's kind of has a sense of humor about it. But
she also fed him dinner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I feel you.
He knew that it wasn't the same thing he had at home. You know what I mean? And his mom was. I've been to his house. He took me to his house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Me and him. He doesn't really talk about our relationship too much. He just talks about he was a kid I didn't like too much. But it was just because I wasn't on the same wavelength as him, and even with intelligent violence, I was like, hey, I'm this way and you're this way.
Yeah.
Let's try to do something together and do that yin and yang thing.
Yeah.
And he was supposed to go that way, bro. I was just supposed to be a guy that was supposed to be a part of his life.
Yeah.
And that's all it was. There's no hate. There's no animosity. I don't have no jealousy. I really don't. I don't. He went through so many millions of dollars, and he's such a huge, dude, Hollow Wicked, dude, the crowd at Hollow Wicked. Don't tell me this guy is on his last leg.
Yeah.
This guy is still just like
reinventing
exactly who he is, dude, and what he's all about. I don't think that with this FFF, it's going to be the same thing that you're used to, but it's going to be dope as hell.
Did they premiere anything from
Nothing.
it? No.
Nothing.
I remember at the gathering, they hinted that the supervillains are coming back with Isham.
Yeah.
So was Isham at Hollow Wicked?
Mm-hmm.
And you got to meet him?
Yeah, I got to say what's up.
That's what's
up. And he still doesn't know who I am, dude. So I don't have the balls to say I'm D-Lyrical. You know what I mean? Like that. I'm just like, what's up, Isham? I'm hoping he's like, hey, don't I know you? What are you doing? You know?
Is he Isham friendly, or is he kind of like?
Oh, he's such awesome, dude. Yeah, he's so laid back. He loves jugs, bro.
Yeah,
dude. Yeah, man.
He's talking about.
I knew him before Joe, right?
I didn't know that.
Okay, so my girlfriend at the time had a house party. I talked about it in an interview a little bit.
Yeah.
Back when we were like 16 and a half. I turned 16. It was like this summer.
Yeah.
And I was in a house party, and I used to go to house parties and rap for everybody at the house party. I used to do this thing. And Isham walked in, bro. I was about to rap, and I was like, people were like, you should battle Isham.
Oh.
So I was like, no. But I asked him if I could do a rap, and I did my rap. And I said, hey, why don't you do one? And I've said this story before, but he was like, I only rap for money. Straight up. Bro.
That was like when he'd had a few records out.
Isham's booming.
Yeah. Oh my god.
No, his first Eshawn's booming. That's the first. That's where he's wearing the white paint.
How old is Eshawn? Like, is he like your guys' age, or is he a little older?
A little older.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you think
Joe's a little older though too?
Joe?
Yeah.
He's like, what's he like?
46.
46.
He's got to be about a year and a half older than me.
Yeah.
But Joey is like, he was just a little good looking kid with a fucking high top fade. I mean, he gave Kid Rock a run for his money back in the day. Yo in the Valley, that Kid Rock had his high top fade, but Joey could fucking rock that shit. Dude. I ain't lying, dude.
So you met them. You were working at Primo's, right? Which is that pizza place.
Yeah.
How did you first meet Kick Jazz?
He started delivering pies. He got a job there through Dan Mavity, who was Pimp Daddy D. Pimp Daddy D worked there, and I worked there. So yeah, Johnny got a job there, and me and him. Okay, so we used to have a lot of fun, like listening to old '70s songs and making up lyrics to it, like
That's tight.
"My Brown Eyed Girl." You know what I mean? It just stupid ass lyrics we'd make up all day long. And so I drove him on my house one night, and I was showing him raps, and he's like, "Oh, well, we're kind of like the JJ Boys." And I was like, "Oh, really? You're like the JJ Boys?" I'm like, "Well, let me hear something." He's like, "Nah, man, nah." So he came over with like Shags, and Shags like, "No, I don't want to rap." So I had this thing hooked up. So then they both went back and told Joe, "Hey, man, this guy's got this thing over here."
Yeah.
And why don't you go hang out with him? And that's the guy that we rap with back at, behind Primo's.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and how do you like how I did that? Like how I like my producer was talking about Dingo 8, how he just like he took that interview and like was Sack Chaser.
Yeah, right. That's tight. The way you're able to like make the narrative weave into it. And I feel like I'm asking these questions because it's like I feel like good art makes you ask more questions about it, right? It makes you want to like piece together what's missing in the narrative. You know what I'm saying? And it's interesting to like, I don't know, the first person accounts. I'm sure a lot of people listening to our podcast now might be working with people or have dreams. And it's interesting how the art you do and sometimes the stuff you do for fun on accident is what people remember you for. I find that with me. The songs I do quick that I don't really put time into are the ones people are like, yo, remember that? You know what I'm saying, right?
Instead of the song that you like worked 14 minutes on like 4 bars.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's my problem, really. Some people, it seems like, let's talk about like, there's a guy named F. Dukes who reached out to me over 8 months ago. And this guy took me down to North Carolina, put me up in a hotel room, brought me into his studio and had me record a track with him. Which, dude, and then after doing research, like I do with you guys, there's so many people I'm doing research after the fact.
Yeah.
And realize how this guy was so important in this scene.
Yeah.
And realize how real this month. And then he had a show the next day opening up for ICP.
Whoa.
Took me on the stage and gave me props, played Intelligence and Violence, and said, "This is the boy D-Lyrical, dude," in front.
That's tight.
Man.
That's tight.
And I got a
tight.
song on his next album coming up. So.
Yo, that's tight.
So I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Okay. I love reading books too.
Yeah.
Okay. And I know you do too.
Yeah.
Truman Capote is my favorite author.
Okay.
And In Cold Blood is such a great book. And when it comes to Juggalo World, when it comes to talking about something that I think that I would love to do a song with you about this topic.
Yo, that would be tight. I'm down. I'm in it. And
Yes.
I've always wanted to read that book, so now I have a good reason to.
I read it so many times before it actually came into the movie.
Would you say that's your favorite book?
Yes.
So how'd you first discover Truman Capote?
Oh shit. My first wife, she had a master's degree before she was 21 years old. She was too much for me, bro. Beautiful. And she hooked me on the books.
Yeah.
And she says, go to over there and read a book.
Yeah.
You don't read enough.
Yeah.
So I saw something about murder.
Yeah, right.
I was a juggalo before I knew I was a juggalo, goddammit. I swear to God. Vinny, the ICP kid, he sent me this huge care package after the gathering.
Yeah.
And he goes, after hanging with you, Dale, at the gathering, after being around you, you are not a fake, bro. You are a real motherfucker.
Yeah.
And you deserve this. And he gave me this psychopathic jersey that has a 1 on it. And it was to represent me being Joe's very first fan ever.
Wow. That's tight.
And you cannot put a price on that to me.
That's tight, dude. That Vinny, let's talk about Vinny for a second.
Let's talk about Vinny.
Shockumentary is where I first discovered him.
Ugh.
And I met him at
he's the reason that everybody loves merch. I believe that Shockumentary, people said, "Oh my God, a flyer is worth something." Oh my God, this guy is telling me that shirt I bought at that concert is worth something 20 years from now. He showed me the light.
Yeah.
How many millions of dollars has been because of Vinny?
I'm sure millions.
Sorry.
Yeah. Vinny.
I've never heard no one else say it, but I am going to say it.
And he said that he still has pretty much all of it. In like he keeps it archived and yeah.
And when I go to these shows, like I went to Axe's record release party.
Yeah.
And people are like, "You're out here in the smoking area with us?" Like they think I'm gonna be in the back with the show's in the front, bro.
Yeah, I know.
I don't want to be backstage. I don't want to be side stage at any show. I want to be front center. I want to experience what they try to give.
Yeah, and because you're right, when you see it, when you watch it from the side,
I don't want that clout.
You can't hear it as well.
Don't want that clout.
Yeah.
I don't need that. I don't need you to see me on the side of the stage and think that's important. See me in the middle dancing. See me break dancing.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you see the jokes, dude. They're all like moshing and I'm break dancing, dude, in the middle of the show. It's awesome.
What is your favorite Psychopathic release of everything?
Basement Cuts. COC.
Intelligence. I guess you can't say Intelligence and
I
Violence.
can't, of course I can.
But
you know, that's why I said, what do you think?
Yeah.
But of course, I'm gonna say something different. Okay. Riddle Box. I mean, I can't. I really can't pick one. I really can't. But I mean, Mighty Death Pop. They're all in their own thing. You could see Joe constantly being creative.
Yeah.
Shaggy's being, dude, man. The way.
Yeah.
One of my favorite songs is one of their most recent, and it's when they just reinvented themselves and did the whole fucking psych thing in Columbus, Ohio. I was at that photo shoot. The whole video, bro.
The Cypher one?
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
And Vinny's, dude, when I heard fucking Ouija's and Lights fucking, and then Hoodoo came in, good. It was brilliant.
I think the remaster, the Man in the Magenta Wig remaster of Intelligence and Violence on YouTube is awesome. Like I found that like a few weeks ago, and it's like that album. The reason I bring that up is because it's
24,000 right now.
Really?
Wow. Yeah, for me, that's a line.
That's
wow.
good, dude.
But I've seen one for 54,000 out of like Intelligence Violence. But for most things, you know, and most of my things that not a lot of people are following me that much. You know what I mean? And it's not about likes, but it's about like where your album's selling.
Yeah.
Am I right? I sold an album to an island of Malta.
Wow.
And this guy has become friends of mine, Chris Carter. And
That's
this kid is, I mean, we constantly talk all the time, man.
Yeah.
And he's so overwhelmed because him and his brother used to drive to school, and he would do Joe's part, and his brother would do my part.
Yeah.
And come on, dude, this is 30 years later hearing this kind of shit.
It's
crazy.
Like, Jay is someone who, his strength is how his interplay, how he bounces off other rappers, right? He's so off the wall, and his solo records are great. But Jay, I feel like, when he is collaborating, you help bring out the craziness in him.
I've heard a lot of his collaborations, but it's when he believes in that collaboration.
Yeah.
There's some collaborations you could tell Joe just wasn't in it.
Yeah.
And you could tell like he was like, dude, I like that. He's having fun. You could see he was bringing it from the heart with everything he was bringing. And a lot of people like the older stuff a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think it was a little, to me, his latest stuff, you know, like 17, it was his voice. I could hear him. It wasn't a lot of electronics behind it.
Like the 17 mixtape.
Yes.
Yeah, that's ill.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
And
6 foot, 7 foot.
That's ill.
Yeah.
And I like on that tape though, old school hip hop, right? You listen to it, it's a lot of that spontaneity, right? And a lot of that back and forth. And the fact that like, you know, recording on Logic and digital recording's fine, and this podcast will sound great, but like there's something when things are a little grimy and rough, that's hip hop to me, right? When things are a little bit not perfect. Did he call himself Violent J because you were D-Lyrical? Like where did that come from?
No, he had that coming in the door.
So that's why the violence, that's why you wanted to call him
Violent J, homeboy, I'm packing a punch, knocked out motherfuckers on Brady Bunch. Yeah. That was original. He already had Violent J before he came in there. Like a lot of people wonder about the J Boys and this little like CD that they made. Well, you don't realize like 2 or 3 of those songs were from JJ Boys on Intelligence and Violence.
And he spits that verse twice.
If you can tell, like Intelligence and Violence, he does like I brought this thing to him, but he needed a lot more bars than he brought, so he brought that verse in twice, and then did another song later.
Yeah.
And then he took my beat for Wizard of the Hood.
Yeah, you gave to make him look good, and how does that feel?
Going to kids in the neighborhood, bro. I mean, I didn't know I'd be talking about it 30 years later, bro.
The nature of collaborating is sharing and letting go of your ego, right? And they're good collaborators and they're bad.
Did you hate being labeled nerdcore? Did you hate it? Did you not like it when it first happened?
I mean, man, we could get into that. It's interesting, right? Because nerdcore is my meal ticket.
Yeah.
But it's also the dudes in that scene and some of the women like are great.
Okay, so
but a lot of it is corny.
So this is where I'm different.
Yeah.
I love juggalos.
Yeah.
I love this scene. I'm so glad that I'm finally a part of it because I've always dreamed about this happening. It's The Secret.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not so religious, bro, but I have read the book The Secret.
Yeah.
And once you believe in something, once you see and once Johnny died, I decided that, you know what, I'm not getting any younger. So if something I've thought about for the last 20 years, I want to make happen, let do some research. Come on, dude, you're a college-educated kid. And until you do research into something, you're never going to know nothing about it.
Yeah.
And you're never going to do nothing about it. So that's what I did. And then all of a sudden, karma says, we see you looking out for yourself and trying to be this certain person. Here, we're going to do this for you. We're going to release your CD at COC show. We're going to have fucking Scotty D get in touch with you, and you and Vinny, the ICP kid, are going to do this thing. And all of a sudden, you're going to figure out this album, and you're going to put them on your album. There is nobody else in the Juggalo world that will ever have Scotty D and Vinny, the ICP kid, on their CD.
That's true. And who are very much excited about it and behind it and honored to be part of it, right?
I sent them both like preliminary copies before it was even mastered to ask their permission. I was like, man, I'm not trying to use you guys. I'm not trying to make money off of your names. Yeah. But this is my story, and you guys are helping me tell it. And this is my vision. And Scotty D's like, dude, go. Dude, what are you waiting for? And of course, Vinny the same way.
Yeah, that is worth more than anything, right? That respect and that karma and that inspiring people.
Yeah. That was me signing a contract to a label. That was the equivalent of it to me.
Yeah.
To get the okay from these very prominent people to say, hey, you know what? We've listened to the CD. We like how you did this. I mean, I took Vinny because his comments are like legendary. No matter what this man's, you could be out to dinner with this guy, dude, and want to record everything he says about a steak and make a song about it.
Because he's just pure passion.
Wow.
And he's excited about life. And that's the kind, there's this, Jack Kerouac has this quote, the only people for me are the mad ones, mad to live, mad to breathe, desirous of everything at the same time, and shine like Roman candles across the starry night or something. That's how I feel.
So smart. I love you, dude. You're such
I love
a
you
good
too,
dude,
dog.
Dude.
I know I butchered that quote, but do you know what I'm saying about?
I don't even know you did because I'm kind of
But there's a lot of spirituality in the Juggalo stuff. Yes. How did you feel when the Wraith revealed that twist at the end? What was your take?
Yeah, I appreciate it because I think Joe's in mature state. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's tired of people making him think that he's this evil demon. He's never tried to be an evil demon. Listen to his fucking music from the beginning. He's not, man. He's just trying to be the evil demon that goes out and lashes out against all the shitty people in the world.
Yeah, right. That there's that's moral truth in everything.
He was one of the first people to say, fuck the fucking Confederate flag, bro. He was the first one to ever.
Right. Before, right. Especially now when that song is like such a pertinent anthem, anti-racist vibe. And I love that about the Juggalo culture is that.
You'll never hear mass media talk about that though.
No. Yeah. It's too controversial, right?
And you'll never hear him talking about how much love there at the festival. You were at the festival, right? At the gathering. Did you see any Budweiser banners?
No.
Did you see any Starbucks or like Nationwide banks or any of that kind of bullshit?
Right.
No. Did you see any bunch of beer tents set up trying to make mass money? No.
Just vendors trying to.
Just vendors, maybe a
vendors.
pizza.
Yeah.
And hot dogs. That was it.
I love that about the gathering.
I love that about Joe because he will not let his gathering become mainstream, commercial.
Yeah.
It's not commercial, bro.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe how non-commercial it was.
Yeah. And how I've heard, don't necessarily make that much money off of it. It's enough.
How you heard they don't give a fuck if they make a lot of money off of it.
That's awesome. That is like the thing that makes them stand out in the music industry and has given them longevity and allowed this audience to feel like you talked about in your interview with Scotty and Vinny about family, right? A lot of people who found the Juggalo culture as a family because things were kind of messed up for them growing up, and that is like a unifying factor. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Can we talk about Kick Jazz for a minute?
Yeah.
Like you were real close, huh?
I was real close when he was just in a pubescent stage. You're 17 years old, growing to 18 years old. There's different things you kind of want in life. There's different things you want to do, and he saw that he had these friends doing all these cool things, and he was a cool guy that put everything together.
Yeah. He connected Shaggy and Jay, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't connect them, but yeah, pretty much. Shags was just a tag along, bro. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
But he was down. He had the same vision as Joe. Joe, I'm here for you, Joe. Me and you, boom, eye to eye. Shags was like that.
Yeah.
And Johnny just, I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. I don't know the reasons. I don't know if it was about women. I don't know what persona that happened. I just really wish that he would have waited until now to realize how cool it is to be an OG.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? It would be so great if him and I could collab right now on a really cool song. Would it, right? You know what I mean? It's such a cool dude, bro.
Yeah.
As a kid, as a teenager, dude, he was just the coolest dude. He was, dude.
Yeah.
And he looked out for all his homies. He put me and Joe together.
Yeah.
Come on. He was looking out for his homies.
He knew
Think
you're
about
both creative, brilliant people who could do something fresh, right? And like, it seems like he was very selfless, right? And that he was there for his friends, and he was, I don't know. I just from what I've heard of him and what I've heard by him, like a true talent.
But he wanted to get greater than them, I think, at some time.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of think that maybe I don't know. This is all speculation on my point.
Yeah.
From somebody I knew back then who was so proud.
Yeah. Do you feel like having his little brother like do so well with?
No, I just think like getting out of it. He felt like there's a reason he got out of it because he wanted to do something bigger than that. You know what I mean? He and then when it just didn't work out, he just didn't understand that he was just like I do. I was a piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
And he was too. And I wish he would have endured those 10 hard years. I don't talk about it. You know what I mean? You guys didn't hear about me 15, 20 years ago. I had a rough patch too with all this.
Yeah.
And I refuse to talk about it because I'm over it.
Yeah.
And I understand where Johnny was coming from. So that's why I won't ever talk no shit about him.
Yeah. But he was a good friend.
Yeah, but when you see your friends make millions of dollars and you're there and you know that your time with them has passed, you know what I mean? And no matter what you do, you can't go back to that. I think it weighed on him a little harder than it weighed on me. Yeah,
I feel you. And he was wrestling with hard things, wasn't he? Like,
well, those things made him wrestle with hard things.
Yeah. Do you have like remember like last things you guys talked about, or like a nice memory?
Me and Johnny?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were. Oh man. Yeah, some girl that I don't know I'd met. She like befriended me and said, "Oh yeah, I know Johnny," and she got me to say things that Johnny like heard through the grapevine. So last time I see Johnny, actually we almost fought.
Oh wow.
I was at the shelter in Detroit, Michigan.
You were at like a show at the shelter?
Yeah, I came back from Florida.
Yeah.
For a visit.
Yeah.
I was down in the shelter and. I was like, you talk shit to my girl, dog, and blah, blah. I you know what? I shouldn't be saying this right now.
Okay, we don't have to talk about it. We could talk about something else.
Yeah, I just positive at this point.
Just positive, man. These days, you're a dad, you're a producer, an engineer. What's dad life being like? Do you want to talk about that, or is that off limits?
No way, dude. Okay. No way. That's the highlight of my life. Are you kidding me? Yes. So hip hop, you guys, has always been my culture, and as a dad of this culture, you could only dare to dream that your daughter would be interested in breakdancing, or your son. Am I right?
Right.
So I have this great opportunity that my ex-wife, Brandon Miettinen, which I love her so much for. She is from Columbus. And she knows all these great hip hop artists. Yeah. And one of them owns a studio called Flavor Flow Studios. And she got my kids connected with the studio. And I become friends with this guy also, James Alexander, man. It's much love what you do for the kids of Columbus, guy, dude. I love you. Flavor Flow Studios in the house. He's taking my daughter on and she's windmilling at the age of 10.
That's awesome.
Wow.
That's awesome.
He took these kids to New York City, the Brick House, Times Square, These kids got to battle kids from Brooklyn, from the Bronx, from Queens, Long Island.
That's tight.
Oh, it was, and then to find out the judges were the New York City Breakers, the Dynamic Rockers, excuse me. But these guys are coming up to me, talking to me, my kid breakdancing, man.
Yeah.
I've had so many great highlights in life. Like there's a festival. It's this really small like arts festival. About 400 or 500 people come to it in Columbus. And the guy that, after all this has happened for me, he's a closet ICP fan.
That's
so
tight.
he's like, hey, man, would you mind coming and do a set at my arts festival? I said, better yet, can I get some parquet? And can I allow my daughter and her friend, who's a part of the Dames crew, do their breakdancing set?
Yeah.
And during my performance. So he's like, yeah, dude, please do. So they had it all set up with a linoleum. So I got to come out and do, and actually the whole set I did actually Intelligence and Violence jazzed up. Have you
I
watched?
saw in the video on your Facebook.
Yeah, you saw only D-Lyrical, the song, but the 2 songs after that have not been put out yet.
Yeah.
I actually did like a Big Daddy Kane Rakim tiny music box where they do the library sets. I did this whole jazzed up thing of the old Inner City Posse stuff.
That's
dude,
tight.
it was dope, dude. It was so
tight.
dope. I got
Tight.
video of it. I'm
That's
gonna
tight.
put it on YouTube.
All right, I'm gonna
like,
keep my eyes peeled for that.
Yeah, it's
That's
really
tight.
cool.
Did you wait? So you redid the beats, or you worked with your friend who did your record on that? That's tight.
I said, let's house this up. Let's jazz this up. And I showed him like the Big Daddy Kane thing, the Rakim thing, and how they're doing this jazzy thing. I said, we can do this. And then he did like a PA thing on my last song. We did D-Day.
Oh,
so
cool.
he was up there and we were looking at each other eye to eye, like, here comes the break. How you give those looks about, okay, let's break it down. Let's bring it chorus, verse, bridge.
That's tight. So being able to do hip hop stuff with your daughter and perform with her as rapping when she's breakdancing, that's fresh.
Yeah.
Doesn't get much better, right?
No, that's what I'll be thinking in my, as I'm going out, dude. Stuff like that. Those are the highlights in life.
Better than a Grammy.
Man, I have no fathom of what it would mean to get a Grammy. My brain is not there. But to have a thought that, hey, maybe this could work out where I could dance with my daughter sometime. And all of a sudden it happens.
Yeah.
Wow, that's the secret.
That is tight. That's the secret, man. That is, I got married this year and like thinking about being a husband.
Beautiful wife.
Thank you. Shout out to Ash Wednesday.
Oh, much congrats.
Thank you. We met. She is a rapper. Her band played a show with me in Texas, and she's awesome. But like, if we ever had a family, spreading that passion and having that intergenerational thing is like, that's really all there is in life, right? Sharing the beautiful things we love to those who come after us, and the fact that you're
sharing and they're willing to take it in.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And you got to be prepared for that too, though. What if they don't? What if they go a different? You also got to be that parent, dude, and be wise to. Because my boy, he loves it, but he's not like my daughter, and I also understand where his passions are. So as a parent, it's your next step, kid.
Yeah, it's like exciting, but I bet it's everything changes, right?
Yeah. Wow, dude, you have such great energy. Can I say this, dude? Like, your bubble is so fucking huge.
Thanks, dog. I learned that from you, dog.
God damn, kid.
I'm enjoying talking to you, man. You got time for a few more questions?
Of course.
All right. Okay. So can we drop some news? So you are doing that New Year's show with Anybody Killer, who's awesome, by the way. He was so humble and fresh to us at the gathering.
Mr. YUG, Mr. J Villain, yes. And J Villain's the one that set all this up for me. This guy from Columbus, he's on Native World. He's such a great guy. He's the one that put me on the Ouija set. And you know what? There's a lot of acts that should have went on after me.
I feel you.
But this kid looked at me and goes, Dale, you are a legend. You're going on here.
Yeah.
And I was humbled by it because I was just saying, dude, these guys come on before me. These guys are awesome. Let me go on very first. Let me go on very first.
And I bet the Juggalos, they eat it up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I bet your set's a combination of some of the old stuff and your new record. And
no, I do that record almost in its entirety, and explain my story. You know what I mean? So that the more I understand it, and I do it. And I the best comment I got was from this one Juggalo. He goes, "Hey man, I bought your album, bro. Your live set's a lot better."
That's annoying. You're like, thanks, I guess.
No, dude, you know what I mean? That's from a jug, dude. That's a great compliment, man. It really was.
Yeah, because they know what good live music is.
Yeah.
Do you have a DJ with you, or do you perform with tracks, or like what's
No,
your
my
setup?
producer, Dingo 8, comes with me.
That's
man,
ill.
and yeah.
He makes it happen.
Yeah, he loves this. He loves this whole thing, dude. I can't believe he's a drum and bass guy, bro. I mean, he's known as a boy and his dog, Dingo 8.
Okay.
Boy and his dog. So.
That's
yeah, and they run and not only restart drum and bass and house music in Columbus, dude. And they have 2 nights every month that they have just a huge crowd shows up. I couldn't believe the guy was willing to work with me. I went to like 2 or 3 different guys in Columbus. Said, "Hey man, I'm thinking about doing this idea." You know what I mean? They're just, okay, dude.
Yeah.
But this guy looked at me and goes, "Fuck yeah!" And last year at this time, the first song was actually being done. November 30th is when the interview was released and my first video was released.
Wow.
For D-Lyrical.
So it kind of.
This is such a.
It happened quick. No, it's like a year later. Think all the things that happened in that year. Do you think you'll do another record with Dingo 8?
Oh, I am right now.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
Do you have an anticipated release?
Yeah, of course, right before the fucking gathering, bro. You gotta throw, but I want to throw them around for free. Yeah. I want to make a bunch of CDs.
Yeah.
And I just want to give them to everyone free and say, hey, please come to my. I want to give I wish I could do everything for free. I wish I could give shirts for free. I wish I could, hey man, you guys appreciate me. I want to give them something back for appreciating.
I feel you. Yeah. Yo, where does Stale Dale come from? That's hilarious.
Shaggy.
He call you that? Yeah.
Stale Dale. Every time I walked in his house, bro.
Yeah. And you...
Johnny, too.
Yeah.
We always make fun of each other. I call him John Ritter all the fucking time. You know what I mean? That's how you talk to each other.
That's how your friends know you love them.
Yeah.
You clown on them.
Yeah. You make fun of them. You make these great, too tall, macaw. You know what I mean? It's just...
So you kind of with your What I Remember album, you're kind of like taking it back and owning that name.
Yeah, I'm rebuilding my name a little bit after the book. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm C. Mars.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about doing that until I started reading some of the comments online where people were taking the book and they weren't reading between the lines. And I do have a song. I have a lyric about that in my album.
Yeah. Which song?
You Don't Know.
Right.
Look, I know that book be like your Bible, but sometimes take a step back, read between the lines a little.
How did you feel when you read it? Did you read it first, or were people talking to you about it? Like, where did you catch wind that he went into all of that in the book?
I do research. I've been following ICP for 30 years.
Yeah.
Bro. Yeah. And I found out he did a book, but I only found out like a couple years later. And as much as I wanted to get in contact with him and say what's up, I saw the book and I said, oh, they didn't want to say what's up, man. They don't really like me too much.
Well, they misrepresented it.
Well, even if you look at the Johnny Kick Jazz interview that they did on Psychopathic, they come to my part of the story, and Joe just puts his head down and goes, I didn't really like that guy too much. So
yeah, man. But you're doing
but that's why I stayed. I had no place, and they didn't invite me. So why would I try to go show my ass? Lars,
right.
I was living my own life. I'm having fun, and it was
You're shining,
dude. You should have seen the people though. When I was in Chicago, living in Chicago, I'd be at a bar drunk, and ICP would come on like the stupid TV, dude. I know those guys. I recorded with those guys in my basement. People are like,
well, it's interesting how all the people we meet in our life, and it's like you can never predict the future. Did you feel like they were gonna become what they became?
Well, no, because I was kind of cynical about music in about '94, and I always believed that everybody. I'll say this today. I believe everybody has an album in them. I don't give a fuck if it's your Aunt Loretta. She's got an album in her. Yeah. Everyone's got at least one album in them.
Yeah.
And I thought it was gonna last 4, 5, 6 years. You know what I mean? I saw the wave that they were gonna try to for Joe to take it to the level he did, dude. Yeah. It's just like, oh, I don't. That's why I said I don't know what to bow, beg, shake his hand, give him a hug, love tap. It's amazing. And I know Jump Steady was every bit a part of it as much as Shags and Rudy and I can't believe what those guys put together.
Did you ever hear the JJ Boys party on the top of the hill?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course.
Because that's kind of a legendary lost.
Okay, yeah, and you're the first person I said this to, but of course Johnny brought it over.
Oh shoot,
we were kids, man.
Yeah.
You got this, I got this. You know what I mean? And he played it, and he was humble about it. You know, he's like, "Oh, I ain't that good." You know what I mean? I mean, when we were doing Intelligence Violence, I more than offered Joey and Shaggy to be on. I'm like, "You guys want to come here and grab a rap and do a verse?" And Shaggy was first like, "No, dog, no, I'm good. Yeah. He didn't want to, you know what I mean? And then to see how much he's surpassed me and he's grown. His lyrics are just better. It's just as good as Joe. I think he's almost better than Joe nowadays. I love Shaggy the way he's rapping.
You know what I love?
His last album was dope.
Yeah.
So old school OG, but still ICP.
I love how like you though, you have very strong melodic hooks, especially on your new record. He is all the melodic stuff with them. It took me years to figure out. Every time it was like a singing thing, if it wasn't Legs Diamond, it was Shaggy doing these interesting harmonies. Did he have like vocal melody skills back then, or was that later?
No, that was later.
Yeah.
That was a kid just growing into his own.
Yeah.
He was really just he sat and just watched us. He was learning from us. And now that I look back upon it, you know, he sat on that couch while me and Joe did our thing, you know, and he was just sucking it all in as a young kid. He was 15.
Yeah. Who did the cuts on that record?
Me.
The scratch. You still DJ?
No.
Yeah, that's tight, man.
No. I just like to dance and rap.
All the elements. Did you draw?
Yeah.
So you got all the elements in you. We were talking earlier about nerd culture and the Juggalo culture crossover. Do you think this is what's the difference between a nerd and a Juggalo, or is there one?
I don't think there is one.
Yeah.
No. There's so many nerds in the Juggalo culture. That's why they have the gaming community.
Yeah.
I mean, he went from Morton's List until, you know, into the Echo side. So, and I was at the Hollow Wicked, and to see this huge gaming room when there's like 50 Juggalos playing these games, and Jump Steady's like going from table to table, making sure everybody's going out, and they do this big, I mean, DCG, you got to play it.
Yeah.
What did you think about it?
I thought it was awesome. I mean, I thought it's this natural, you know,
even with this problem that happened, you know what I mean? I kind of bummed out.
That I was glad the show still happened, and I'm glad I still got to play.
Yes.
And, that it's really about, you know, being a nerd is about being passionate about stuff. And I think it's interesting that Jump Steady calls nerds nerdies, right? He calls them nerdies, and like how that's this thing of pride, or like the term floobs Jay talks about in the book. Did he use that around you, the term floobs?
No. That's kind of a new term. I didn't even know he talked about that in the book. Floobs?
Floobs being like the predecessor to Juggalo, right?
Okay.
So like being someone who just kind of doesn't really care what people think about them.
Yeah.
And
they're into their own world. They're into their own thing.
Their own.
You know what? That's kind of my son right now. I tell you, this kid is just into his own world. He's into his own thing.
Is he a game? Are your kids gamers or no?
Yes, my son is. Yeah. But he loves to watch people play games. This is this weird thing about
like
the new
Twitch.
generation.
Yeah, right. Watching people play games. And go through them.
Yes, and that way, when he gets on Minecraft, he doesn't question anything. He's just like.
They learn from it. Well, it's like Shaggy watching you guys work. Like you learn by seeing people create in this world, right?
No, you didn't say that. So anyhow.
Last question.
Okay.
If you could go back, what advice would you give yourself as a kid?
Pay more attention to your credit. That's what I'm telling myself.
Yeah.
Don't live. I wouldn't take anything back. I'm glad that I got to be somebody who got to be a part of something early on in life, and then sit back for 30 years and then do something about it. I really am enjoying this.
Yeah.
I don't have any animosity. I don't have no regrets about it all.
Yeah.
I really don't. And when it comes to music, if that's what you're thinking. No, I love what I do for a living. You know, I love my kids. I love where I'm at in life. I love the city I live in. There's not too much I regret.
It worked out.
I wouldn't. Yeah.
You're making new records, and maybe you wouldn't be making records 30 years later if it hadn't been such a. Maybe you would have. I don't know. But
I don't know. Right now, I just want to make a song with you.
Yeah, let's do it. In cold blood. D-Lyrical. I am honored you're here. I'm honored to have you at our show tonight, and I love your record, and I love talking to you. And I'm glad we could clear up the misattribution stuff on YouTube, and
such a great word
where I was wrong, and I'm glad you jumped in the mix, and I apologize for that. And like, it's been an honor talking to you and getting to know you, and now we're homies. So let's
oh my God, we're so much homies, dude. Much love to you, ours.
Much love, D-Lyrical. Where fools find the record? What do you want to send them?
Oh, just to my Facebook page or dlyrical1.bandcamp.com. It's there. You can download it, or just get in touch with me personally on my Facebook. I don't have no celebrity page or nothing like that. It's Dale Miettinen Jr. And just private message me, and I'll send you out a CD or something if you want one.
How fresh is that? That's tight. All right, well, thank you for being on the podcast today, and please follow D-Lyrical because he's doing great things. This has been awesome.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
Intelligence and violence. You have dug your own grave. If you say you want a battle, don't you know you're in trouble up the creek without a paddle? Cause I keep getting better. I'm tougher than leather. I'm rated number 1 and I'll reign forever. Some people wear silver and some wear gold, but then I'll snatch it up your neck and dish you cold. It's like a fantasy, it's irony. My rhymes go down in history. Get my point proven with the freshest terminology. No more words in a pocket dictionary. Got more information in your local library. Some girls I'm kissing and others I'm dissing, but you don't know what you've been missing. Make a fresh tongue twister, could give your tongue a blister. If you see it my way, then there's a chance you'll differ. Give a sigh, then you cry, then you say goodbye. Don't even try, don't reply, and you want to die. I make it rhyme, don't waste time, cause it is a crime. It's the truth, no excuse, won't feed you no line. Dissing you to battle me a bit up more than you can chew. Tearing up the scene, destructive and rude. The way I'll leave you more puzzled than a Rubik's Cube. Wanna battle the best, you're gonna die like the rest. Where I'll crush your bones and rip up your flesh. You can do what you want, but leave the rhyme to the skill. Cause every person that don't listen is a sucker that's killed. And when I first started rapping, I set some goals to rock your mind, your body, and of course your soul. Now when it comes to these goals, I have now achieved. So for all you non-believers, it's time to believe. Take it to the violent side. Violent J, yo homeboy, I'm packing a punch. Knocked out Greg on the motherfucking Brady Bunch. For no apparent reason, yo, that's my attitude. Fuck off, gold digger, how's that for gratitude? Don't remember your name after I get the shot. Don't get loud, bitches, tie your lips in a knot. Delray, Detroit, Southwest military. Leaving freaks hanging like a motherfucking dingleberry. Yo, I like big, fat, funked up freaks. I'm waxing that anus and I'm slapping her butt cheeks. Hey, yo. The J stands for Joe. Violence straight up means that I'm a motherfucking psycho. Reputation like Jason on the southwest side. Shot 47 times, boy, still ain't died. In the LA roads, bumping gangster code. Selling yo, part-time selling stereos. Yeah, boy, and my tape comes with them. When I stole the radio, my tape was already in them. Lifestyle of a motherfucking scalawag. Throwing fists, but if you throw me a mag, I'll use it cause you never know I'm packing a gun. Straight up, young one, you don't want none, son. Fuck those talking shit, fucking need to quit. Talking shit about the tape, face to face, don't say shit. Young Caucasians raising hell on a tape. In person, volunteer, crush your ass like a grape. Talk shit about my posse, hope you have a ball. When I see you, I'ma slam your fucking head in the wall. Intelligent and violent. Intelligent and violent.
I thought we'd end with a song from Intelligence and Violence, just to bring it all back together. Thank you, Dale. That was an incredible interview, and thank you all for tuning in. Next week, we have Boy Pierce. Boy Pierce is a musician who lives in Brooklyn, who opened for me a bunch of times. He opened for I Fight Dragons and me, and then when I did my residency, who does cool pop culture videos. He's a younger rapper who started out doing mashups, and he's a great performer and a really nice guy and really professional. And I wanted to talk to him about like what it's like being a new artist, especially living in New York, and especially doing music and stuff on the side. He has a day job in marketing, and but he's very successful at his rapping. So Boy Pierce is next week. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you soon. Have a great week. Bye.